Since January, for those of us who believe that democracy is the lifeblood of a republic, we've been forced to confront seemingly daily assaults on norms. Blanket pardons for insurrectionists who attacked our capital, chilling threats to dissent, corruption in broad daylight, rank incompetence, and on and on and on. But beyond the existential threats is another chip at our foundation. Populating this administration with conspiracists, supplicants, and lightweights, we're being led in critical positions by people both unqualified and under the mistaken belief that they serve the interests of one man and not a nation. The list is long, but for this morning, I'm going to focus on one name, Alina Habba. A few years back, she joined Trump's golf club in Bedminster, New Jersey. Oh, and she was a local lawyer. Before she met the Donald, she wasn't exactly a notable barrister. Her biggest claim to fame was she represented one of the Real Housewives of New Jersey. Anyway, Trump took a liking to her, and given a litany of criminal and civil cases he was facing, and seeing how many law firms had turned him down because, for among other reasons, he didn't pay his bills, she joined the team. In every case, whether it was him falsely representing his assets, filing a bogus lawsuit against Hillary Clinton, and the federal defamation lawsuit involving Jean Carroll, who alleged Trump sexually assaulted her, she not only lost, but to put it politely, she embarrassed herself. In fact, the judge in the Carroll case dressed her down for not knowing basic courtroom procedure, misstating the law and disregarding agreed upon limits before the trial. The judge threatened to toss her in jail for contempt. Now, no one would confuse Ms. Habba as a competent counsel, let alone for a premier federal prosecutor position. And oh, I forgot to mention, she has never prosecuted a case, not even a traffic ticket, in her lifetime. Well, in Trump world, that apparently doesn't matter. Trump tabbed her to be the top federal prosecutor in New Jersey. Now, the U.S. Attorney's Office in Newark is the 5th largest in America. It's known for handling some of the most complicated federal criminal cases involving terrorism, organized crime, drug trafficking, political corruption, and more. Among the former occupants of this job, to give you a frame of reference, is the current Supreme Court Justice Sam Alito. Governor Chris Christie and former Homeland Security Chief Michael Chertoff also held the position. In an unprecedented move at the end of her interim appointment, federal judges in New Jersey voted to dismiss Habba for the job because of incompetence. Beyond her blatant lack of qualifications, Ms. Habba confirmed the worst suspicions when she launched politically motivated investigations into Governor Phil Murphy and the state's Attorney General Matthew Platkin, who just happened to be Democrats. And in a subsequent interview, she said, quote, "I want to turn New Jersey red," end quote. Now, she doubled down when she targeted Newark's Democratic mayor and congresswoman at a protest and tried to prosecute both of them. A federal judge summarily dismissed the ridiculous charges, saying in a scathing opinion in part, quote, "The botch case suggests a failure to adequately investigate, to carefully gather facts, and to thoughtfully consider the implications of your actions before wielding your immense power. Your office must operate with a higher standard than that," end quote. Trump, of course, hadn't seen the ineptitude of his appointment and her clear lack of qualifications for such an important job as a problem. In fact, his White House instructed the Attorney General to do an end round and reappoint her, not subject to review, for another 7 months. Tragically, my friends, this is what now passes for judicial excellence in Trump's America. It's not making our country great.